you need to find a network, a community, a group that works for you, that is into investing or is into equity investing, because there is no bigger resource than having the diverse network and range of people that are also invested in it and different levels that it is that you can leverage. The biggest information source would always be from people. Somebody would share about something, somebody would talk about something, and you, who would then be right there in their midst, can decide to either be a mop or be a sponge or just be that ball or wall that would keep taking and giving as you would be able to do. Hello and welcome back to another episode, and today we're going to be addressing frequently asked questions as relate to equity investing. One of my last videos had talked in detail about equity investing, what it is, how it can work for you, and what options that you have in terms of what you're looking out for, what you stand to benefit, and all of that. So if you haven't watched that video already, that's fine. Watch this one and then go and watch that one, and maybe you'd even have to come back to this one because you also would have more questions, which I would keep picking from the comment section of this video if you do drop them. My name is Lerato Lekena-Okoro. I'm a property broker based in Lagos, Nigeria, where my goal is to help you as a middle income earner, or even just somebody who earns money in Africa, to be able to invest viably, successfully in cash flowing assets and create wealth for the life that it is that you want to be able to live. So now let's get started on the frequently asked questions as relates to equity investing. Question number one is, what is equity investing and how does it work in Africa? Now, if you watched the previous video, again, I explained in detail, but I'm going to just recap in this one so that you get an answer for it here. Now, what is it? It is the opportunity for you to be able to invest in something that is big. So you think about somebody who owns a project, a whole project that is more than just one apartment, or is more than one property, or is more than that. And then the person says, "Oh, I'm looking to raise, or I'm looking to get 2 billion." For example, I'm looking for 2 billion naira to be able to complete this project, and I need to get money. I need to get investors. I need to get, people who will be interested in it. You have the option of investing in projects like that for a stake, which means that you are going to be a co-owner in that project because you are going to be putting money into it, and you are going to be looking out for the fact that you can keep earning from that project. That is what equity investing is in a nutshell. Another typical example that I think that would really resonate with people, us here in Africa, would be the fact that, think about a parent who has kids, say 3-4 kids, and at some point in time, the kids want to buy a car or want to take their parents out off for a holiday, and all the kids then come and pitch, put money together to make that happen. That is literally equity investing, because it means that many of you have come together, you've put money together to make that happen, and you're also going to be getting returns off of it, and that's what it is. Now, when you ask how safe is it in Africa, it's as safe as it can be. Why? Because as long as the project is a valid project, it's legal, it has been properly structured as a viable project, then it's safe. Why? Because it's the same thing. You're putting money into the project, and the project is expected to yield its returns. The only reason why it becomes unsafe is if you've not done the due diligence on the viability of the project or on the people who are the promoters, and it then means that the project itself would fail. Now, if the project itself fails, chances are that you are going to lose your money. And that is one thing that is always going to be there. It's a risk that happens with investments naturally. So if you're going to go into it, you would have to look out for all the things that you can do to be able to protect your investments. And I'm not going to talk so much about how it is that you can protect your investments in this video, because I have a whole playlist about due diligence and how to protect your investments, which I'll make sure is linked into the caption so that you can easily reference it and get all the information it is that you need. So because I've literally answered question 1 and 2, which would be what it is, how does it work, and how safe it is, I'm going to jump right into question number 3, which is, how do I get started with equity investing in Africa? Now, Africa, like any part of the world, would always have projects, would always have initiatives, would always have opportunities, and maybe even more opportunities with equity investing for real estate, especially because we have a very high demand for housing. If you want to get started, my take is this: know how much it is you can put into it. That's knowing your budget, right? Know what it is that you need to invest for. So know your why. Know what it is that you want to be able to achieve. And then look for credible people, players, stakeholders in the real estate investment space that are either parts of projects or are putting up projects that you can then key into. Now, the reason why you want to be able to do the finding of the people, the partners, and the players last is because you want to be able to go to them knowing exactly how you're coming in. You need to be able to understand how much it is that you have to invest into, what it is that you want to be able to achieve, because these make you a stronger investor, especially when it comes to negotiations. So if you're someone who's looking for how it is that you can start, that's literally the way that you can get started. And if you're also interested in getting started today, let's assume that you know how much it is that you have, or you know that you have maybe ₦1 million, or you want to get started because you want to start earning rental income. I have a community that you can join today, and you can get started and possibly even start to earn and enjoy returns on your investment within 3, 6, or 12 months. And I'm going to leave the link to that in the caption, and I'll write it, join the co-investment community here, so you can actually get started on your journey. So that is how it is that you can get started. Question number 4, what type of companies can I invest in within the African market? First, look out for very credible companies. Look for companies that are formed by people who are passionate and committed to actually growing and scaling within Africa. Look for people who have the credibility and capacity, even if it's not just on their own, but maybe they've formed the partnerships that are going to be able to help them to achieve these goals that you can then key into their projects. So that's how you should be looking out for people. People that you would be looking out for would be people who are also already in the game, people who are involved, people who are, stakeholders of the entire goal. And then for me, that would be how it is that will be easiest for you to get started. Yes, you'd probably have to hire a lawyer to help you do some of the due diligence, but by the time you have started off with somebody that you know is committed, has skin in the game, and is doing what it is that they say that they're doing, then you know that at least you are halfway on your way to choosing the right people that it is that you can get started with. So question number 5, how much money do I need to start investing in equities in Africa? In as much as you would see people say, or offers come up that would say you can invest as little as $10, $50 as your minimum investment, I would say mark your minimum as something that you can afford. If $50 or $20 is how you can start, then by all means go ahead and start. The idea is you start and then you keep doing it and you grow in consistency. So don't wait for you want to have $1,000 or you want to have $2,000 or $5,000 to be able to start and you start big. No, start from where you're at. So look for deals that offer you that flexibility. So first would be ensuring that the deals are viable, the companies are viable, the promoters are viable, and then you would then go on from their viability and their credibility to then knowing, okay, do they have deals that are priced in a range that you can actually key into. So when you look out for things like that, you would then know, okay, this is where you can start, this is how much I can put down, and you start from there and you grow your confidence. So if you're somebody that's going to start with a $10, $20, $50 in the initial, you know that then when you do it that one time, you're looking for more money that it is that you can come back to add on to that investment or to a similar investment. So you do $50 in month one, you do $50 or $70 in month two, and in month three you're able to do $100. What then happens is that you have started equity investing, but you've tiered it, so you are doing it at your pace financially and effortlessly, where you are not overstressing, you're not overstretching yourself. So yes, it may seem like, oh, you have to start big because you want to be able to say you are earning big, but that's not the important thing that you should look out for. The important thing would be start with whatever it is that you have, whatever it is that you can afford, and ensure that you are consistent with continuing. Don't do it and stop and say you're going to do it in the next 2 years. You would feel like it's not going to work for you. And in truth, it won't really work for you, because the returns that you may now be getting would be so tiny that you would then feel like it's not worth it. Investing is a long-term goal. It's a consistency goal. And it's one that people who do it and do it successfully look out for the returns because they have done it consistently. They look out for the returns because they know that it's going to provide for a chunk of value that it is that they are looking to be able to achieve. So that's my advice on that. Number 6 is, what is the expected return on equity investments in Africa? Now, this number has been known to fluctuate. Number one, depending on what sector, what area, what niche it is that you're going into. But at the least, what we have seen in the market is that people who are into equity investing over time are at least able to get a minimum of 10% per annum. And this is a per annum rate because your investment return would always be calculated per annum, and then it could then be prorated depending on how it is it's going to be paid to you. But at least you could be looking at a 10% per annum based on of whatever it is that you're investing in. And you would then know, especially for real estate, the fact that not only are you getting that return, but you're also enjoying the capital appreciation, which would also be happening on the back end of it. Now, equity investment projects tend not to be too flamboyant or too overhyped in terms of what their returns would be. So when I say 10% per annum, a lot of times that would be a very conservative assumption or expectation that has been set. There will be instances where it could be higher. There may be instances where it just may come lower in short periods or short bursts or certain time frames, of which there would always be a logical explanation for that. So you would have to just, keep an eye out for what's happening, factors that affect the investment and all what's not, for you to be able to know whether your investment is still viable, whether it's still worth the time and the money for you, and you just know how it is that you're going to keep growing. Now, this question is actually very interesting because the person seems like someone who wants to go outside of their own peripheral. And I'm going to take, and this is bringing us to question number 7. And it says, should I focus on local or international equities in Africa? So here goes, right? Equity investing has no limitation. If you can find a deal that works, you can actually go into it, as long as you can do your due diligence, or you can get information about the deal, you understand the market to a point, or you're able to know that you would be getting enough information and feedback and reports that would help you to understand and appreciate that market. Then please, by all means, look out for as many deals as possible across Africa or even just globally. Because that is one thing with equity investing. It gives you the freedom to be able to invest across multiple markets. We've seen people who technically would invest in companies that are global. So a company would start off in one area, one location, or one country, and then they would expand into a new country and they'll expand into a new region. But you who has invested in them or in their either in the company or in the project that they're doing, you would then automatically be growing with them. So please expand your horizons as much as possible. But when you're starting out, start out with a locality that you know, so that you don't start to learn the ropes with so many things that are working against you. A lack of information is always going to be the biggest downfall of an investor. So your success would always be prerequisite on the fact that you understand how, why these factors are happening the way that they are. And this would also help to position your mind for whether you're successful in what it is that you're doing, or you have that, feeling of fulfillment in what it is that you're doing. And these are just things that matter. So please expand your horizons as much as possible. Now, question number 8 is actually a smart one. And this person is literally asking for tools and resources that can help make informed decisions. Now, one thing that I always tell people, and this is clients or people that I interact with or I speak to about real estate, is the fact that the biggest factor or resource or tool that you can have or use to grow or build your investments is knowledge. And not only knowledge that you gain by yourself, but knowledge that you can also glean and leverage from other people that are in the market, people that are in it and doing it. One thing that I found in my over a decade experience of investing and helping people to invest in real estate is that people who are successful at investing are actually very open, especially when they know that you are also trying to learn the ropes. So I've had to be in networks, communities, circles of people who are either investors, they're brokers, they're funders. And when we have discussions around what's working, what's not working, why do they do what, or what can happen, you find that they are actually able to share their experiences with you, because you would also then be able to say, oh, okay, this is something you did and it probably didn't work, right? Or this is something you did and then it worked and then you want to try it, and then they could guide you. In the industry, there are a lot of opportunities for people to be able to get informal mentors or guides, but if you are someone who you want to just automatically be planted in a community that can help you, support you, show you where to start from, even understand how it is that you should start, know what questions you should start off with, you can actually join the Domino Society, because in the community, what we do is we help to ensure that you have access to an e-library, you have access to tools, resources that help to make you a generally smarter investor. And you also have people, subject matter experts who are investing, people who are helping other people to invest in the community, so you can also learn from chatting or having discussions around real estate. So how do you find resources or tools that it is that you would need? Talking to people would be your first resource or tool. Being able to network would be the next. Having a community or a group of people that you can leverage upon would be another one. Or you just go out looking for information around real estate and its viability. So it would be you looking for reports, looking for outcomes in different scenarios, and that's it. That would be one way that it is that you can start. Aside from that, you would then have to be looking for checklists and things like that. But these things are things that you would have to do all the work to find if you're doing it on your own. If you don't want to do it on your own, join the community and just have access to all of them very quickly and easily. Question number 9. How can I diversify my equity investment portfolio in Africa? Now, if you've watched the first episode, I had actually talked about this, but I'll answer it again. Diversification is something that you would definitely want to do. Now, in looking for how it is that you can diversify your portfolio, depending on what it is that you are equity investing in, for me, it's always going to be about real estate. So with people who want to diversify across the real estate market, I would say invest in different types of real estate. Invest in lands for farms. invest in residential properties for middle income to low income earners, invest in commercial real estate, shopping complexes, office complexes, social recreational centers, service utilities, things like that. Invest in these things across the community, and they're very easy to find. The ones that that would work, or look out for places. Now, I'm going to give you a very quick tip for how it is that I find real estate that works. Is that you think about the area that it is that you're in or you're going to invest in, and then you say, what is the biggest need? What is that thing that people need the most in this area? Make a list of 1, 2, 3 of them, and then classify them. And then if you're going to do equity investing, look for opportunities in these 3 things, because the more it is that real estate is used, the more it is that it's able to earn money, the more it is that it's able to generate the revenue that it is working for. But there is also the notion that, yes, you can be generating a lot of revenue, but you're not exactly making profit. This is where the importance of who it is at the helm of affairs operationally is going to be important, because that person has to understand the dynamics and the business of real estate to ensure that when they're putting down the commercials, that they actually understand how they can generate revenue and ensure that they're also making a profit off of the services. So if you're looking for how it is that you can diversify your portfolio, I would say invest across the market, look out for different options, and always make sure that you are able to put in percentages of the budget that you have in a way that and manner that it makes sense to you. That manner would always depend on how much your buy-in is and what the potentials for returns would then be. So to optimize it, that would then be a totally different discussion, which I hope that I can probably do a masterclass on how to optimize your real estate investment, and then we can look into that at that point in time. And question number 11, which seems like the last one that we have for today, is how can I stay updated on the equity market trends and news? Essentially, you have to listen and watch the news. That's the first thing that you have to do. But I mean, to be serious, it depends on what. So if you're looking at equities, you'd always have to look at them again by their niche. I'm very particular. I mean, because I work in real estate, I make sure that I follow all the priority news and updates that come from real estate. I literally have Google alerts for things around real estate in Africa. So there I'm able to get information, updates about what's happening, what businesses are coming up. So you also have to follow. When I say follow the news, I mean like follow the news. What's going on in these areas? Where are things happening? And for me, a lot of my people, my close first circle, are people that are also interested in real estate. So there's always going to be a tendency for us to have a discussion that opens up any opportunities that may exist. For people who are also going to be looking out for, okay, what companies is it that you can work for? I mean, it will be you putting tabs and keeping tabs upon them. So you can either decide to do this by yourself, or you could decide to just join a community. See, every time these questions come up, you can do it by yourself. There's no conflict there. You can do it by yourself. It's just going to be more work. But when you join a community, or you join a network of people that have that same that like mind, then chances are that you're going to find it easier, because somebody would be feeding that information into the community. Different people will come in with updates. Oh, have you heard about this? Oh, I saw this. I'm just sharing this. And you will then be finding that you are getting access to a way wider range of articles, information, updates that it is that you could have gotten on your own. So I think that one thing that I can leave you with, outside of all the questions that you have asked and you have sent in, would be the fact that you need to find a network, a community, a group that works for you, that is into investing or is into equity investing, because there is no bigger resource than having the diverse network and range of people that are also invested in it, and different levels that it is that you can leverage. The biggest information source would always be from people. Somebody would share about something, somebody would talk about something, and you, who would then be right there in their midst, can decide to either be a mop or be a sponge, or just be that ball or wall that would keep taking and giving as you would be able to do. So if you have more questions around equity investing, please drop them down in the comment section, and we will find time, as we see them, to start to answer them, and hopefully we would be able to have a more comprehensive document that basically outlines how equity investing works, frequently asked questions around it, so that somebody or even you can come back and say, I have this full library or document that explains as much as possible about equity investing as I may be interested in. So till next time, when we'll come up with another video and hopefully on another topic, adios for now.